Pause the video player if you want to read more on the intro. And this will be a hashtag crypto trading video. Welcome, my name is Derek, as it is the 13th day of November 2017. Let's start off with Dash, which really dashed yesterday. And for the last few days, I got into this code in at the 50 handle to start. Somewhere in here. Or in here, probably. And then I don't remember if on another exchange I was able to buy on this decline or not. I could check, but it's not really worth it. I did buy on this break in here. That was just too strong of a setup not to. And I've had two sell orders come into place. I sold at about 60. 59 was the first sell order, which executed this buy. And then one of the buy orders from in here got executed at the 90 handle, 89.99 something. So I still had tokens left. When I sold this one was when I placed this sell order. And I was shocked and amazed and pleased to get the notification not that quick afterwards. You sold some Dash, by the way. I'm thinking, at first, like in 1/7 of a second, that must have went up really, really fast for this to have been executed, because my understanding was I sold really high. Well, thank you. And I like to buy back after I sell, and I want to buy back for cheaper prices. And at 62.6 with a 90 handle, I could buy it now cheaper, and I could have already bought it, and I already have. But lower than the 626 handle, I bought it. And I bought it a while ago. And how does that make sense? Let me show. As my original play was to sell a little over 1/4 of a Dash, which gave me about 0.023 Bitcoin. And I want to get really good deals when I want to buy back. If I sell at 90 and I buy at 80, I mean, technically you're getting about a 10% play, but that's not much. So 60 and a hair above 60 is the number in which I chose, and I got executed somewhere, I think, around here. And how could that be the case? How could you buy for 60 handle when the price was over the 66? Well, there are a lot of different exchanges in which move the market. And amongst the smaller ones, it can definitely be possible when an action of this type of nature comes in, if you happen to have buy orders in much lower, that they can get executed. Thankfully, someone sold down to that 60 number. Now, granted, I'm barely profiting at this time, but for that buy, that is. But I don't really care about the short-term fluctuations too much. It's going to move when it moves. But just something to look out for. With the smaller exchanges, when markets go lower, there's definitely opportunities to be able to buy them cheaper than the current fair market price. The contrary is also true to the upside, where you can, and I got to say the word can, be able to sell it for better than fair market price to the upside. Because in situations like this, when a big exchange like BITTREX moves the market like this, it can work the other side. Now, as I stated before, I end up selling a little over 1/4 at 0.023 here. I bought back at 0.60, 0.36. So that's a little under 0.09 Dash for free. And I sold it for about I bought it rather for a little under 2.2% of a Bitcoin. So that's a gain of over 100,000 satoshi in the Dash just because of this sell and this buy. But with other exchanges, if you see a move like this, the two situations you want to look out for is, on the smaller exchanges that is normally you're going to get buying opportunities on a fast move up like this. Especially if it just happens where it goes from, like, say 55 to like 74 in like 6 minutes, 8 minutes. What you may be able to notice is when the price is in at, say, 68 handle, that you could be able to pick some up maybe for 63 or 64, because it takes some time for the smaller exchanges to catch up. But it can also work in the level that maybe a higher sell order can come in. Let me actually check and see where I ended up buying what the 24-hour high and low is on that exchange. And I have found the information. I've collected the data. And I don't know what else to say. Wow. Wow, did it ever explode up there? Maybe I should... Oh, wow. Okay, here's the data. Here is the data. This is Coin Exchange. Its last price traded in at is 62 handle, which is in the area. 24-hour volume, 17.7. I'm assuming that's in Bitcoin. The bid is in at 62 at the time. The ask is in at 66.9, which is very normal to see a little bit higher and a little bit lower than current price action. And the 24-hour high, really? 0.40 and a bunch of other numbers, basically 0.41 even, which is only about 4.x times higher than that high. Congratulations to all the sellers at that level. There'd only be a limited amount of volume up there, but that's the crazy thing about these alternate markets. Now, it's always good to know about the exchange, because the transfer fee to get your Dash out of here is something you don't want to do. It is 0.1. And for a coin of this level, that would be just way too expensive. Excuse me, 0.01. And even that is just way too expensive to sell, because, or to get rid of. Yeah, because if Dash is like well over $500, now that's like over $5 to transfer. No, thank you. However, I can sell on this exchange, and if I know that something like this has happened in the past, I'm already in position with Dash. I got 0.36 on here. So I can obviously do my normal selling. Where would I want to sell next? Well, if I didn't have tokens back, I'd be very reluctant to sell back here again, which is probably where I'm going to sell. It's just on BITTREX, I sold about 38% of what I bought on those two sell orders, leaving 62% back and held. Those tokens will be sold on the north side. When we're talking about 0.2, I mean 0.4, that's just insane. So therefore, if I bought 0.36, I can put a sell order in for about 0.31, 0.30 up here, and leave the other ones for insane levels higher. Now, I also had a buyback on this exact same exchange with Ethereum Classic, but it came in Harmony, and it's down right now. Harmony, because I put the order in at 250, which actually got executed. I don't know if it got executed on this low or this low. Was one of them. I could technically, I'd check for time. I don't think it matters. And it's down now. Who cares? I'm going to hold. And for sell target is an okay difference of about 36%. 25 on 36. This is high school math for me. The difference is 9. 9 divided by 25, that's 36. Simple math. 36% up and down moves like this. Simple math, portfolio management, risk reward, job number one. Lots of potential huge gains in place, and it doesn't take too many profitable 30-40% sales to allocate you being able to buy something where it can go to nothing every now and again and still be laughing in your profits. And of course, you're not going to expect that to happen. Of course, granted, if you play like 40, 50 codes, or especially the speculative ones, you're going to expect a few of them to happen, most certainly. But especially when you're playing Ethereum Classic and the Dash and all those other ones, it's definitely wild moves that usually will keep going on and on and on, like that bunny that was in the television commercials back in the day. But the volatility is just insane. And it's insane to think this isn't going to keep on moving insane. Because insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting the same result. A different result, rather. So insanity is thinking right now that these markets are just going to stop moving like this and move like you would see an S&P 500 index move. No, it's going to keep having these wild moves. In just a span of just a few days with ETC, you see the price action breaking in around the 20 handle and almost doubling. Its give back has been now close to 50%. 30-40%. Extreme. Dash, I showed you, big volatility as well. Bitcoin Cash, same thing. Here's a situation where it came up to about and above the 42 handle. Now it's below 20 and was down to 15 and change. So it's down over 50% from this high. And the wild swings along the way. You go from 42 down to 20, up to north of 30, back down to about 18, to about 29, down to 20, up to 28, down to 16, up to 21, 15, now up to 21 again. There's a lot of opportunities to be swinging these markets back and forth. And if you're looking at this on a longer term perspective, say somebody who, like I'm talking about with putting buy and sell orders in, trying to buy low and sell high, and maybe you only check your computer or the exchange maybe a few times a week, 3 times a week. The last time you checked it, it was live, so you had a sell order come in here. And okay, you handled it because you sold here. Maybe you put a buy order back in somewhere in here, which obviously hasn't hit yet. But then you just logged in and then you see and you have your sell order hit at 24. You had your sell order hit at 31 and you had your sell order hit at 41. Maybe you have 1 or 2 north of that. And you see this right now, you can automatically buy this sell order right now, which is what I would probably do. Then you have this sell order, which you could buy back again right now as well too. You already would supposedly have a buy order, we'll say at 11.5, and you have 2 more gaps to fill. So with those 2 gaps, I'd be like, okay, maybe I'll look to buy one of them at previous low area or a higher low in here, either or. Maybe if I got 11.5, I'll do somewhere in the middle, maybe somewhere around 13. So I'll put a buy order in at, say, 17.13. Well, at 17 and then again at 13. And then, and because I just bought right now at the 19.2, I'll put a sell order in for just what I bought. And you could choose this previous high. You can choose to go up here. And if you're playing long term, there's nothing wrong with going for the wild gains because they're available. And if they're available to be allocated towards such, then finding strategies to get such those plays, definitely I think a good strategy. And let's finish off the morning session with OK Cash on the starting with the 60-minute time frame, which had a very beautiful break yesterday as it broke past this area of key resistance in at around the 52 and 54 handle. Here's the 54 resistance before it broke, and there's the breakout. So the break goes from like 54, 55 up to about 76 and change. And the pullback, original pullback to the 18 highs, now it's pulling back down, or it had pulled back down to the 18 lows. Still correcting within what is still the rising average. And now if it's able to break through this, we've already established key level of resistance in here. It would make more sense that maybe it's going to resist more around this area before it takes it out. But whether it does it slow or fast as far as when the breakout occurs, it's unlikely that the break will be slow, as most of them are like we've seen in here. You break an area, it goes up fast. You break an area, I mean, it may only be a little bit fast like in here, but a little bit fast was a move from like 4,000 to 5,000. Yeah, 20%, that's only small. But talk to stock market traders about intraday breakouts of 20% being small and intermediate term time frames, corrections of 60% being normal. And when you understand these intricacies, that's what you want to play for. As you want to play as far as how the market is moving, understanding the message of the market, and so on. And we'll finish it off on the daily chart, which has a beautiful, nice, interesting setup. It could very easily come back and support in the areas of the 5,000, 4,500 area. That would definitely get my last sell order back, if such is to be the case. Actually, where did I put my buy order in? Actually, I put just one buy order in for 2 sell orders. And I sold some at 7,000, some at 7,500. And I'm trying to buy both of those orders back with a buy order in a hair above the 5,000 handle. And that's pretty okay numbers, 5,000 to 7,500, but 50%. And I'm going to conclude this particular video, but I don't know if I want to do a silver video or not, because I haven't even seen the silver market since it opened. So I'll put a quick view on it now to see if it's worth covering. If I was a bookie, I think of this in my head, what's the odds silver's even worth covering today? And I'm thinking it's like 10%, because it's probably doing a bunch of nothing. And it's got a symmetrical triangle. A pretty interesting one, but really not much worth covering. It should have an interesting move by Thanksgiving. Take care.